Well, hello, Nervos Land. Rodrigo Santiago here. This is blockchain killer number 4, isolated networks. This is a hard killer. Let's go for it. So, this is for entertainment purposes only. I could be wrong all day long here. Just verify what I'm saying. Don't trust my words. Do your own research. It is not really financial advice. I'm just sharing random thoughts in the internet, right? So I'm a Brazilian guy. My name is Rodrigo. I'm an IT tech lead, and I'm a proud CKB holder. Just in love with this technology, and the team has done an amazing job, in my opinion. It's just an opinion. So this presentation will hopefully help you to identify key points to be analyzed in any blockchains you have in your portfolio. So let's go. We encourage you to question our content. I just said that, right? So let's go. In the former videos, we've got covered 3 points, 3 blockchain killers. So if you haven't gone through them already, just browse in the YouTube channel and you could find those videos. I guess you can, you'll probably find some good stuff in there, especially things that the Nervos team is solving with the CKB technology. So in this one, we're going to attack the isolated network problems. Let's go. So first of all, today blockchain space will just allow people to do transactions in the same blockchains as they are. This for the most part, right? Let's say a Bitcoin holder can only transact with Bitcoin holders. That's primary design in the Bitcoin network. And Ethereum holders also just transact with Ethereum holders. The blockchain space started to evolve from different designs, and at first people were not thinking about interoperability. So we've got isolated, just as in the sorry, just as in the internet beginnings, we are in the blockchain beginnings. So there are groups of people who can talk to each other. They can directly have transactions with each others. And there are, for some blockchains, there are really no plans for developing interoperability with other blockchains because they have a hell lot of problems to solve already. So they've designed to be an isolated, they designed the blockchain to be an isolated island from the start. Some of blockchains are still appearing as the end solution, as a proposal to be the end solution to all blockchain problems. And really, this is not what we are facing. We are facing just an explosion of blockchains, and they don't talk to each other. So when we have interoperability solutions, they are just too complicated. You have to. Oh, there's a car passing by right now with a crazy song. Well, Brazilian. So current interoperability solutions, they require that the user does 2 or 3 transactions. For example, when we are sending Bitcoin to Ethereum, we have to transform Bitcoin in wrapped Bitcoin, and then we can transact wrapped Bitcoin inside the Ethereum space. This require like 2 transactions, right? 2 transactions? Yeah, not sure, but at least 2 transactions. Most of the current solutions. So it's just clumsy. And at some point, the user has to do some special configuration in their MetaMask wallet, or they have to have 3, 4 different wallets. They have to be aware which blockchain they are operating. So I have to know, I have to have a quite good understanding of blockchains and tokens in order to have transactions going in blockchains. I have to know in which blockchain my token is right now. So which software should I use? Which wallet can open that that software, it's really clumsy, really clumsy and bureaucratic. So this is for the end user, and for the developers, the current interoperability solutions, they are just too complicated. They are quite complicated and sometimes also bureaucratic. So let's see an example here. I really, I think people in the Cosmos blockchain and Polkadot will just shoot me in the head, figuratively speaking. But this is for Cosmos. We have a great article that explains the difference between Cosmos and Polkadot, and the author here, he is too focused on those two blockchains as being the solution for the blockchain interoperability problem, the isolated networks problem. So he's just outlining the differences between Polkadot and Cosmos. So in Cosmos, we would have the need for the creation of the hub blockchain. What is a hub blockchain? Anybody could create a hub blockchain, and the hub blockchain would be responsible for validating transactions and transferring message between different blockchains. So we could have any number of people like creating any number of hubs, and we could have a possibly infinite amount of hub networks that could talk to each other and route the communications between different blockchains. So you have this hub and zone model, this hub and zone model. So people are free to create their own hubs and connect to other hubs. They are independent blockchains. So we basically will have an explosion in the number of blockchains that are talking to each other in order to allowing the message passing from one blockchain to the other. So this is Cosmos, adding a lot of complexity. In my opinion, it's unnecessary complexity, and you're going to see why. So in Polkadot, we have the relay chain and the parachain networks. So relay chain is a central chain that can validate transactions in many different blockchains. And the parachain, it represents an application. The parachain could be an independent blockchain. It doesn't need to be, but it can potentially be a different blockchain. And the validators are just kind of creating that conversation between the application and the relay chain, and therefore sending messages to other blockchains. So yeah, we also have a possible explosion of different parachains because some applications will have their own blockchains. So on Polkadot, the relay chain is doing all the job in different blockchains. And then there's parallel blockchains communicating with the relay chain. It's quite complex. And for developers, you have to go through a lot of learning in order to be able to develop an application in Polkadot. In Polkadot, we also have the auctioning process, which is when a new parachain is being created, they do an auctioning for the token because Polkadot is proof of stake. So they will distribute tokens among the possible holders and supporters of that parachain. And for having that auctioning process, they've created a line. So there can be only one parachain auctioning at a time, each time. So if you want to create a parachain, you should wait in line for your turn, Mr. or Mrs. or Miss. Kind of bureaucratic. It's a possible solution also, and I hope that the doesn't kill me next week because of that, but I don't like that at all. And when people are shilling dot in my face, I go like, well, or dot and Cosmos. This is a personal opinion, right? I'm not a I'm not in the team for the Nervos Foundation. I'm just telling what I think. I think those are nasty solutions that works, but they aren't working in the most optimized way. It's too complicated, and by complicated I mean I've met some people who actually have given up to interact with Polkadot's applications because they can't understand what's going on. They can't understand how to configure their wallets and stuff. So they've given up that bureaucracy. I've already said that in another video. So yeah, I don't think that Dot and Cosmos will die. They have a great number of supporters, but one thing I know for sure, yeah, and that's a feeling I have, right? It's a belief I have. If they want to keep up as good competitors in the marketplace, they will learn from Nervos Blockchain. They both will learn from Nervos Blockchain. So the end result of the current wasteland that we have in the blockchain interoperability space is interop today costs a hell lot more than it should. It's just too complicated. People have a hard time learning about it, learning how to use it, learning how to interact with different networks. And they are actually creating the current interoperability solutions are creating higher level problems. For example, if I choose to do an app on Polkadot, how should my application transact with Cosmos tokens? So there is no initiative to allow that to happen right now. So when somebody invents a new standard, usually they are kind of going like BTC maximalists. They are thinking like, my standard will win in the marketplace and everybody will have to adopt my standard. But what really happens is there are trade-offs between different standards, and some people will go to develop one in standard 1, and some people will go to develop an application in standard 2. So we're really creating higher level islands and splitting the internet blockchain space in less part, but still dividing it. So this is what we have for today. Interoperability problems are really not being solved in full, right? So what does Nervos do? Because this is what this video is for. It's to show people what the Nervos team is doing. First of all, the Nervos Layer 1 is prepared for validating transactions in any blockchain. What does that mean is Nervos network, when it gets in touch with Ethereum, it becomes Ethereum. It's like it can validate transactions in Ethereum space. It can validate transactions in Bitcoin space. It can validate transactions in Tron space, and so on. This is allowed by very, very good IT design, technology design. They've done an amazing job for programmers so that the programmers have an easy time developing an app in one blockchain and being instantly allowed to transact with tokens in any blockchain. So Nervos layer 1 is prepared to have this conversation and speak any blockchain language. So the second big thing is any blockchain can be reached with one transaction in the CKB layer 1 blockchain. What does that mean? We could send tokens from one network to the other using just one transaction. So I don't have to learn how to wrap a Bitcoin. I would just exchange Bitcoin for Tron like seamlessly. No problem. And this is a pretty big deal because right now users have to do special configurations. They have to transact like 1, 2, or 3 times to do some things. In Nervos Blockchain, any application will inherit that capacity of doing just one transaction and validating transactions in one or more blockchains. It depends on the application, of course, but this is it. This is it. I can start a transaction in Bitcoin, start the validation in Nervos Network, and start the validation in Tron, and then I can just validate everything at the same time, and I'm good. Now we've got one transaction that spans all over the blockchain space. This is the composability of transactions, right? And this is kind of built in the software development kit. The programmer will have an easier time to program those things, to create those experiences. So no extra blockchains are needed. I don't have to deal with hub and zones model, or I don't need to create a extra blockchain as a parachain. Although in DOT we don't need an extra blockchain, but sometimes they want. I don't have to wait in line for launching an application and so on. Assets can be transferred from one chain to the other with one transaction. I've already said that. Users feel like they are in their native chain. This is very important because what Nervos can really do, and it already does, it's already in production, is you can interact with Portal Wallet, for example, from any blockchain. So if you have an Ethereum wallet, you can interact with Portal Wallet application as if you were in Ethereum. You don't have to configure your MetaMask in any special way. You just browse to ckb.pw and then you interact with the wallet. You get a CKB address, a native CKB address. It's not an ERC20 contract. You don't have to know any of this stuff. You're just interacting with an Ethereum native dApp from Ethereum network. It's a very different experience. And no extra validators, chains are needed. It's just built in the layer 1 of the Nervos network, which is so much more than only an interoperable blockchain. Nervos network is so much more than that. So another apps from any blockchains can be natively deployed in Nervos blockchain. So this is pretty big also. Nervos team plans facilitating the development of dApps in Nervos blockchain. How can they do that fast? Well, the CKB VM, which is like the smart contract interpreter, the virtual machine that executes the smart contracts, it can really interpret other VMs. So I still don't know in exact details how that's done. It's something that I'm I have to study still, but it goes like this. Nervos team has created a new layer called the Polyjuice. Polyjuice is a framework that allow any application built for Ethereum to be running in the CKB network. So any developer that is not amazed by the Ethereum experience, because fees are high, the gas fees and everything, they can just create, they can just port their applications so that they can live in Nervos network for good. So it would be very easy to really just have a good blockchain, a good, a less expensive blockchain for your dApps to live without changing current code that was written to live in Ethereum space. So think about that. If I don't have to rewrite the whole code and I can port the application to the Nervos blockchain and still reach Ethereum users and have they feel that they are still in the Ethereum native experience, this open ups for the what this open ups for developers is any developer will be able to reach any blockchain user if they decide to go from Ethereum to Nervos network. This is just an example. Not everybody will want to do that, but it's a powerful example. The apps shouldn't live in blockchains that are causing trouble. So this is kind of the facilitating experience that the team is doing right now. And this kind of experience for the developers will be launched this year. So it's powerful. So this is the design. Today, Nervos network is capable of validating transactions in Cardano, Tron, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. It's big. They are doing tests for some of these blockchains, but the end result will be that these blockchains will be added on production as long as the teams finishes the last touches and yeah, having it ready for production. So you can imagine that it would be a pretty sweet deal for developers, the possibility of deploying an app in one network and just reach any blockchains they want, as if the users were experiencing that blockchain natively. It's beautiful, but it doesn't end there. Nervos network can validate things on the internet as a whole. So you could have a wallet, you could have you could use an application and creating a user and a password and tying that application to your email address, just as you do with Facebook or Twitter and everything else. You could hold your wallet to your, you could tie your wallet to your phone number. So you have a more of a Telegram or Twitter style of interacting. Nervos is capable of expanding the user reach in so many ways. It's very, it's a high leverage network. It goes so beyond, so far and so beyond what other projects are doing. It's just insane. Other blockchains that proposes interoperability, they will see themselves obligated to learn from Nervos team. It's not a problem. Everybody evolves together, right? Nervos team has learned a lot from other blockchains. So that's it. It's just the game we're playing in. So the end result in Nervos Network is that Nervos Network kicks ass regarding true, simple interoperability. The success of more and more blockchains will create a leveraged demand for Nervos seamless interop style. So we don't want the competition, quote unquote, to go away. We want more and more blockchains to be live with more users, with a growing user base, and they don't need to go out of business so that Nervos do okay. And this is a very powerful convincer for me. Because if I'm thinking about investing, I want a network that's very resilient regarding the success of other blockchains. Nervos Network is a kind of anti-fragile investment right now in blockchains, because the more and more successful blockchains there is, the more success Nervos Network will have. Because as more and more users flock into the different blockchain space, Nervos will allow to reach, it's crazy, the amount of people that will be reachable from the users, from the Nervos network. So for developers, it is a great deal, because it's not about only reaching users in other blockchains. It is about creating an unified experience for the blockchain space. It is about allowing users in completely different networks to interact with one another without knowing anything about blockchain, really. They will be able to interact and create transactions one with another, and the developer in Nervos blockchain will actually be able to create those experiences, much richer experiences than with other solutions. So Nervos Network is welcoming all patterns, all standards of development of blockchain styles, and it can quickly, and by quickly I mean you just develop a new Nervos team will be continually developing new software for expanding their interoperability possibility. So the developer will be able to offer experiences that transcend the isolated network experience that people have today. It's just a kick-ass solution. Very easy to port dApps to Nervos network and reach as many users as the blockchain space has. So Nervos CKB token is really resilient to the success of other networks. It is positioned to be the backbone of the blockchain space. One of the best ones. Even if Polkadot and Cosmos grow, Nervos network will be able to do interoperability with those networks also. So they are not competitors. And I keep saying that to my friends. They said, "Oh, Rodrigo, who do you think will be the winner?" And I go like, "Well, it's just a collaborative experience. You don't have to have just one winner. You could hold Polkadot, you could hold CKBs, and you could hold WASM tokens if you want to go full circle in the interop space. You can just get CKBs or I guess everybody will win in the long term. But the main thing here for me is, even if Nervos Network doesn't reach like Polkadot or Cosmos market cap, those people will have to learn from the Nervos team. This is something that's clear to me, because it's incredible what the team is doing. It's just incredible regarding the technology they've developed. So yeah, that's it. And then we get the true interoperability solution from Nervos Network. Hold your nervos, my friend. Hold your CKBs. I don't recommend you to day trade it, to just get a quick buck and get out. Just hold the CKB, because the fundamentals are really impressive. And this is why the biggest venture capital firms are strongly in it. This is why Binance and Huobi are heavily invested in it. Yeah, hold your CKBs. You can buy it in Binance, Huobi, Bithumb, Voyager, I guess Qcoin also, I forgot to put here, and GliaSwap. It will be launched soon. GliaSwap will be a decentralized exchange built on top of Nervos. You'll be able to provide liquidity, just as in Uniswap and other DEXs out there. But the special thing is that it will be possible to exchange tokens from any blockchain to tokens from any other blockchain. So you could exchange Bitcoin for Tron, just like you do. Yeah, I don't think there are any place in which you could exchange Tron for Bitcoin right now. You should have two transactions at least, right? You should exchange Bitcoin for USDT and then buy Tron for USDT. So from USDT. Yeah, it would be a quite amazing experience to have a DEX that allows you to exchange any pairs you want and provide liquidity to any pairs you want. So this is it for today. Yeah, come and chat with us. Subscribe to this channel. Press the like button if you want. If you want to help these videos to go far away and reach other people. And really come to the Nervos Network Telegram channel. It's the biggest place for us, and the community is also very it's hot right now. People are, every day we have great conversations about blockchain space and everything. So Nervos Unofficial is the one. That's it. Bye bye.